Hi, we're going to look at a population and the relationship it has to its sample. Okay, we're going to take samples of size 30. This is our population. Now, we don't generally know what the population is when we go and sample. The whole idea is that when we sample, that we're trying to find something out about the population. Now, the box and whisker that is made for this population is sort of correct. Okay, that's the median, that's the middle 50%. The whiskers aren't quite right because there are some extreme values that are not shown on those whiskers. And it's the way that they've decided to demonstrate this box and whisker. However, when we take a sample, whoopsies, let's try that one again. Okay, when we take a sample, we don't know the population, and we might get a sample that like this. This sample of 30 has been taken from this population, and they've taken a random sample of 30. This is all you see generally when you take a sample, and it's the only sample you take, so this is all you ever see. So what you notice here is that there's a little mound here, and there's a group of 3 that seem to be outliers. Well, if you know something about the population, which you generally don't, these 3 outliers are not unusual. They just happen to be on the tail somewhere, okay? But the fact that we've got 3 in the sample is a little bit unusual and makes us a bit suspicious. However, that is the sample that you got. If we take another sample of 30, okay, we notice that the mound is over here. This time there's only one value that's out to the left here, not surprisingly, and there's a couple of values out here. And if you draw a box and whisker, it would look like that. If you took another one, this is another sample of 30, the mound is here and looks like we've got double peaks in there, and we don't have such extreme values. Okay, and so your whiskers will be a bit shorter. However, if I just flick through a few, and this one's a little bit unusual, there's a mound here, and there's a single outlier, it seems there, but it's not unusual. The population actually does have values down there, but all it's telling you is that there's values down there. Now, if I go back, you notice the mound on that one tends to be here, and in the next sample, my mound happens to be there. So don't take things too hard, okay? Just be aware that your sample only gives you an idea of what the population might be. And the fact that you get a little mound there is not that unusual because the big mound is here, and you've just happened to have sampled a few more things in here than you did over this side. So that's why your mound's in a different place. Let's have a look at a few more. Okay, when you notice me doing this taking samples of 30, you notice that the whiskers change quite a lot. Okay, so the whiskers aren't a reliable way of looking at spread. The box, which is the middle 50%, tends to be pretty consistent, slightly different places, okay, but it tends to be around about the middle. What you do notice is that the median tends to stay around the middle of the data, which is around where the population median probably is. Okay, so you get lots of variation in the spread, the whiskers especially, and the box tends to be around the middle most of the time, and the median sort of stays around them at the middle. That's what you see. And if you've got something like that, you would think there's not much variation, but that's what you got for your sample. So be aware that your box and whisker will jitter around the middle, your whiskers will spread out, okay, and that the middle of the box will stay pretty much the same.